Have you ever wondered about the difference between tragic losses in and something far more sinister, an act that deeply violates humanity itself? International law draws a crucial line to distinguish these actions, ensuring that the most egregious offenses are clearly identified and condemned. In international humanitarian law, particularly concerning crimes against humanity, the phrase "directed against any civilian population" signifies a specific type of attack that is widespread or systematic in nature. It means the acts are not random or isolated incidents, but rather part of a deliberate policy or pattern aimed at non-combatants, making them a key element that elevates severe human rights violations to the level of a crime against humanity. The why behind this specific wording is to differentiate individual criminal acts from state-sanctioned or organized atrocities. For an act to be considered directed against any civilian population, it must be part of a broader attack. This requires proof of a coordinated policy, meaning there is some level of organization, planning, or a systematic pattern of behavior, even if not formally declared. It is about the scale and intentionality of the harm, not just the harm itself, recognizing that such widespread or systematic attacks often reflected a larger intent to terrorize or eradicate a group. To understand this in practice, you need to look for patterns and intent. Consider whether the actions are occurring on a large scale, affecting many individuals, or whether they are recurring over time in a predictable manner, demonstrating a clear policy or plan. Evidence might include multiple attacks on civilian areas, the systematic displacement of a community, or widespread killings and sexual violence carried out with official tolerance or encouragement. This broad context is critical to establishing that the acts are not merely unfortunate consequences of conflict, but deliberate targeting. A fascinating legal nuance here is that the term civilian population refers to people who are not actively participating in hostilities. This definition remains fluid, and the legal concept of direct participation in hostilities helps clarify who temporarily loses their civilian protection. Furthermore, an attack can be directed against civilians even if some military objectives are present, as long as the primary intent and impact are on the non-combatant population. This specificity ensures legal accountability focuses on those who deliberately orchestrate suffering on a vast scale. Ultimately, understanding, directed against any civilian population, is fundamental to holding individuals accountable for the most severe international crimes. It moves beyond individual acts of violence to recognize a systematic campaign of terror or destruction, providing a framework to prosecute those who plan and execute attacks on a widespread or organized basis against people simply for being non-combatants in times of conflict.